Okay, do you just want to jump into it? And then for the conclusion, we can just do our usual. We can say like what is something that you related to from this
Mm-hmm.
episode, or something that you like had the same answer to the question, maybe.
Yeah. What I think just like what's something you related to. I think that's good.
Okay. Yay, I'm so excited.
All
This
right.
is um such a turnaround from yesterday.
Good.
Like this is like exciting.
Yay, I'm so glad. Um, do you want to announce in this episode that we're doing that we're going to start asking honorary 20 somethings for episode suggestions?
Yes.
And we can kind of be
Yeah.
like, we haven't figured out exactly all the details yet, but if you've been an honorary 20 something before, we're going to come up with a way for you to like submit your episode suggestion and then we'll just start working through them.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do that.
yeah,
We can
and
have a Google form in our bio.
yeah, that's a
And even
good
people who aren't 20 something, honorary 20 somethings can like
make
put in ideas
suggestions.
if they want. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll just be sure to like, maybe we could do one episode a month as an honorary 20 something suggestion. And we can
Yeah.
like be sure to like, say we can put
Who
a
it was.
spot on the Google form. Like if you've been honorary 20 something of the week, what week was it? And, cause I, at the, in the captions, I think we have what week it is in every single one, but I'll go back and make sure and edit them if we don't. Um, but we could be like, put what week you were so that we can be sure to give you like the proper
That.
shout out. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can even have like, if people want to say who they are, like if they weren't 20 something,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is making sense. Like they can be like, my username is this, and then we can like prioritize the honorary 20 somethings, and then
True.
fall back on the other ones.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we'll do that. We can just sort of like at the end do that. Just be like, when we're doing the call to
Yeah.
action, say, and be looking forward to picking episode topics because we can honestly not announce the honorary 20 something part of it yet. We could just say, like, we're going to have a way for you guys to submit episode suggestions, and we have something exciting having to do with that planned for our honorary 20 somethings. So,
Yeah.
and then that's all we
Sounds
can
good
say.
to me.
Yay. Okay. I am excited. Are we ready to record?
You. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Let me pull these up. Okay. And then
It's so weird holding the mic.
I know it makes me think of Call Her Daddy.
Yeah, because she's always like,
Yeah, seriously. All right. Ready?
yeah.
3, 2, 1, record. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing much better than yesterday.
Good.
We had to delay recording because somebody, aka me, had a terrible mental day. But I woke up this morning and I started anew. I worked out
Mm-hmm.
this morning, I did my work, and now I'm here.
That's
So
right.
also I reached out to therapy.
Yay.
So I'm waiting for my insurance to kick in, and then they'll come back to me and be like, "Hey, here's the schedule."
Oh,
Yes, my coworker uses them, so I'm excited to try it out. We'll
that
see.
is going to be so great, Val. I'm so
Yes,
proud of you that you
thanks.
like finally took that step for yourself. Are you feeling
I
good about it?
know. I'm feeling good. I'm excited because it's been a long time. I think it's been since I've had a good therapist, like the end of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
or no, 2019, not
Mm-hmm.
2020. And then in 2020, I tried to do BetterHelp.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like couldn't get past surface level conversations. And I need somebody who is like, bitch, you're lying to yourself. What
Mm-hmm.
the hell?
Yeah.
Um, and so that's why I've been putting it off for so long, because I am scared of finding a new one because I miss my old one. She was
Yeah.
great. I got so lucky.
Yeah, it's hard. When I moved, My therapist in Georgia that I really loved doesn't service people outside of Georgia.
Mhm.
So that was like super disappointing for me. And I was so anxious to find a new therapist. And then I found one who I really liked, but then she stopped practicing like mid COVID. I think she just had like her own stuff to deal with. And so
Yeah.
I started doing BetterHelp too. And I really like my counselor, but I think with online therapy, it is so hit or miss with like, it just
Yeah.
depends if you get somebody you mesh with or not, you know?
Yeah. Well, and, with BetterHelp, there's, like, thousands, if I think, thousands of different therapists, so it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like a randomized system, whereas,
Mm-hmm.
like, I reached out to this place and I was like, "I have experience with sexual assault, like, this is my family history, we deal with this, blah, blah, blah." Not gonna go into that right now.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm like, "Please give me a female therapist." And, like, I know you can do that with BetterHelp, but I feel like
Mhm.
because there's, like, maybe 10 therapists there, they're like, "Oh, so and so is really experienced with that, so I'm gonna assign her to this client."
Yeah, yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
it will be around the same price, I think, as BetterHelp from, like, what my coworker told me pricing-wise.
Mhm. That's
So I
good.
feel like it's worth it to pay a little bit extra money to get, like,
Yeah.
possibly in person in the future after COVID's over, so
Right. And just to like so that you feel comfortable, you know, like if
yeah,
you couldn't get past surface level conversations, then it's good for you to yeah, like find what benefits you, you know?
yeah,
And if
yeah,
that's like a little bit more expensive, that's just how it is. So
yep, and since I have reorganized my finances, it's gonna be fine.
yes, that's right. I'm so proud of you. I was also
Thanks.
proud that you didn't buy that leather suit on Instagram.
Oh, but it's so cute.
It is so cute, but I almost pressed like what I can't
Send
remember
it.
what you put. Yeah, send it. I was like, I almost pressed send it, but I was like, no, I can't. I'm supporting her.
My friend, Lauren, she runs a Instagram account, like, for her work.
Mhm.
She freaking said no on her personal and her work Instagram. I was like, "You are a cheater. Are
I
you
should have
kidding
done it
me?"
on the podcast Instagram.
It was all of, like, the people who don't really know me as well that said yes, and then it was
Uh-huh.
people, like, close to me who were like, "Val, no."
Girl. I know. Oh my gosh,
It's
that's so funny.
fine. Maybe one day, maybe one
Yeah,
day.
Instagram polls will tell you who your real friends are.
Yeah,
But
they will.
I mean, speaking of Instagram polls and Instagram stuff, we have a
Oh.
ton of awesome questions
We
from
do. I'm
everybody to
so
get through.
excited for this episode. I was honestly scared that people weren't going to post any questions, and I was like, "We're gonna just talk to each other the whole
I
time
know.
again."
I was like, oh gosh, Val and I are going to have to come up with questions for each other. What is this going to
Ah.
be?
No, we have a ton of good questions, and I looked over them before we started recording, and it looks really fun. So,
Yeah.
um, yay! All right, do you just want to hop into it now that we've talked
Yeah.
about everything?
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
okay.
Do you wanna ask first or do you wanna be asked first?
Are we both answering each question?
I think for the ones that are asking both of us, yeah, and then the
Okay.
ones that are just asking us, like,
Specific
individually,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we could
Okay.
do,
I can
um
ask first. I'll ask you first.
okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. Should I just go down the list?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Fave social media and why?
Ooh, I mean, to post to Instagram, but to be on TikTok for sure.
I agree with that. Retweet.
That's your answer?
That's my answer too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Retweet Allison.
yeah, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Instagram is where
But
for
why though?
oh, why? Yeah. Like, I don't know, I feel like Instagram I'm more of a long form person, if you couldn't tell. So, oh no, did we freeze?
Mhm.
Can you see me?
No.
Oh, okay. Um, Sorry,
It
you were
says
like, I'm just gonna do a dance because we've never done Zoom before.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, you're back now. I was like, I'm just gonna dance until she comes back. um.
Um,
Okay.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, hello.
Hello. It'll be
Am
funny
I
to see on the
here? Am I
recording.
still here?
Yeah, you're still here.
Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Okay, cool. All right. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. So why,
Okay. So
right?
you're a long form person is where you were at.
Yeah. So long form, I feel like is better for Instagram, obviously, because you can like stories are so great. You can like put pretty much your whole day in stories if you want to.
Yeah.
And then you have like your, like hard feed posts, and those tell like a lot about who you are, but can also be like really informational, which I like. So I don't know. But then TikTok, I feel like is where I just go to escape and not think about anything.
To consume content.
Yeah. Why for you though?
The same reason actually. Because I mean I like TikTok and all. I can't get a hold of making TikToks yet.
Mhm.
But I love doing long posts on Instagram because I kind of use it as like my public diary a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, it's an easy place for people to relate to your carefully formed words.
Mhm.
Whereas like on TikTok, nobody wants to hear me like have a revelation about my confidence. I
Right.
I don't know. It just feels a little odd to go on TikTok and talk about the things I usually talk about. So
Mhm.
maybe I'll find a way to do that one day, but
Who knows?
for now, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, same reason.
Okay, well, this one kinda goes along with it. Fave social media account to follow.
Okay, so um, on Instagram, Mick Zazan.
Okay.
She is somebody that I have followed for a while now, actually.
Mhm.
She talks a lot about body confidence, like accepting your body the way it is. And she also, like, she has recently started talking about like clothing and redoing her house. And she used to be in like an abusive relationship, like,
Oh,
started from the
wow.
bottom, and now she has like her own company.
Mhm.
She does like rose retreats, and so she's doing it virtually this year, so I actually bought a
Ooh.
ticket. And so it's like a reset, like your mind, how you like see your body, how you see life. So
Aw.
yeah, go give her a follow. It's hold on, let me get the at. And she's really great. She talks a lot about controversial kind of subjects when it comes to like body confidence and um stuff like that. So sometimes she gets like shadow banned and she's like, fuck you, Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so her at is at MIKZAZON. So if you don't
Ooh.
follow her already, go give her a follow. She's got that blue check mark.
Yes.
So yeah,
I
that's mine.
love
What about
that.
you?
Mine is probably honestly, when I was thinking about this question, like earlier today, looking at it, I was like, this is so hard for me to answer because I feel like it changes so often. But the one person that I can think of that like I have just really enjoyed following since I started following them, and it's been a few years, and I'm following like multiple things that they're doing and not just like just their Instagram. And that person for me is Becca Martinez, who I've
Mhm.
talked about on this podcast before. She's one half of the Chatty Broads podcast, and she used to be on The Bachelor,
Oh,
but she's kind of like gone rogue. Like her podcast now is on like the blacklist. Like if you have a contract with ABC or The Bachelor, you can't go on her podcast or you're breaking
oh,
your contract. Like she
whoa.
yeah, so I just really
Okay.
enjoy her content, and she's a mom now, so like I can relate to that. Obviously, she
Yeah.
had an unplanned pregnancy. Like her first child was a couple months like in with her boyfriend. She got pregnant, and they were just kind of like, "Oh, we've been dating for like 2 or 3 months," you know.
Awkward.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's been really fun to like watch her go from this person on The Bachelor who was like made fun of for being like young and naive and all these
Hmm.
things because she was the youngest person on her season and the first girl to have like a pixie haircut and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So she got a lot of crap for being like young and immature or whatever. And then she got off of The Bachelor and she was like a fan favorite and like
Hmm.
has her own like successful podcast now and like is
Nice.
flourishing in her relationship, has 2
Okay.
beautiful children. So I just love her, but she talks a lot about different like race issues
Hmm.
and she when things are going on like in Bachelor Nation, she like is one of the first people who is like, "Hey, does everybody see this? Like this is not
Yeah.
okay." Um I really admire the way that she does sponsorships. She is like really transparent with how much money she makes on Instagram through ads, and I think that that's
Hmm.
a really big deal. So yeah, that's probably mine. Her at is just at BEKAH, and yeah, she talks a lot. Oh, she has a conscious clothing brand too. So
Oh,
she talks
nice.
about sustainability a lot and just things like that.
Oh, cool. Okay. I feel like those both of those people are like more like well-known versions of me and you.
Yes, well, that's what I was just gonna say is yours is really representative of, like, what you talk about on social media, and
Yeah,
mine's
and
kind
yours
of
is too.
yeah.
That's so
We're gonna
funny.
learn a lot about ourselves this
I know.
episode,
I'm
I
so
think.
excited. Okay. Um, Let me unlock my phone. Hold on. Okay. Sorry guys. Okay, so oh, this is an interesting question. Okay. Will your name change when you turn 30?
Oh, like the podcast name, like 20 something?
I am such an idiot.
Did you think you meant did you think of it your name, Valerie Burns?
I thought maybe like with marriage, like
Oh my gosh.
I feel very stupid.
That is perfect. I love that. You were like, "Will your name change when you turn 30?" What?
Okay. Okay. Fun fact, Allison and I have actually talked about this before.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
this will be or this is 30 something.
Yeah.
Um if we're still doing it, then I mean we don't have to, but
Yeah.
if we are, then yes, it will change. First it'll be me who turns 30, and then young thriving Allison will turn
I'll come
30.
behind that. Yeah.
You're like, how many years? You just turned 24.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. This is your
Thank
birthday
you.
episode.
Yes.
And then I am 26.
Yeah.
So 32, I'll be 32 and Allison will be 30. And then we'll
Yeah.
change the name.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah. Or
there's
it
the
could
answer.
go the other way. And because what we could do is when you turn 30, be like just honorary 30 something, age me up into it with you. Or we could be like, no, Val is staying at 20 something for 2
Yes.
more years, and you can be the
I
honorary 20 something for 2 more years.
I like the second idea. I'm going to pretend I am 29 for a very long time.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The name will change. But will stay the same. Yeah, but obviously if you guys don't keep listening, we're not going to keep doing this. So keep
Right.
listening so that we
So
can
tell your
actually make
friends,
that decision.
tell your family, tell your friends, maybe not like your older family because I don't need them judging me.
Yeah, they won't make
Uh,
it.
Tell your friends, tell your followers about
Yeah.
us so that we can do this when we're still 30.
On your podcast, tell everybody that we're your favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
Talk about how great we are. Hype us
Oh
up.
my gosh. Okay. I guess it's my turn to read one. What do you wish you knew before starting the podcast?
Oh,
It's
that's
a
a
good
good
one.
question.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good question. Let me ponder for a second. Um, I think this is not like super deep or like life changing, but I wish that I had practiced not interrupting people more because when you're editing, Alice, Allison's dying to be like me too. When you're when you're editing, it makes it way easier when you don't interrupt each other by accident. And like because it is virtual, it's more difficult. And another part of my therapy is getting tested for ADHD. And when you get like, I feel impulses to talk all the time in the middle of other people talking. And that is a symptom of, or a sign, not a symptom. It's not a disease. It's a sign of ADHD. And so, yes, I wish that I had worked more on not interrupting people before we started.
I agree with that very much so. I think with my last um like when I was doing the podcast before we started doing it together, my last co-host and I met in a class, so we were kind of used to like interacting in a way that's like classroom structure, where you like wait to be called on and like you wait until somebody finishes an entire thought to start talking. But you and I have always just had like a conversational relationship.
Yes.
So it hasn't been a big deal to just like go off on tangents with each other or be like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, me too. But it is so hard to edit over, especially because I don't think people realize the way that we edit. It really like it's time sensitive as to like when things line up with each other, like when our
Hmm.
two audio tracks are lining up. So if we're constantly talking over each other, it's really hard for us to decipher, oh, this is where Val's audio track should be and this is where Allison's audio track should be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
it
agree
is.
with
It
that.
does. It does make it difficult. And like I am one of those people where if I have a thought, I feel the need to say it right then. And it's very hard for me to be like, they're still talking, they're still talking. Listen, 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 and don't forget that thought because I always forget.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
Um,
It's hard.
it is. But I'm working on it. And I mean, obviously you are too. So uh if you do notice that like while you're listening to episodes, it's because I have that impulse that I can't get rid of.
Yeah. Well, and I think that too, for me, I actually talked about this with my therapist in my last session, just that I have a lot of things that I kind of it's been pointed out to me that they are, like you were saying, signs of ADHD. So it makes me wonder, like, what, I don't know, what impulses like we have because of maybe like our shared experiences as like women and like the point, because I don't know about you, but for me growing up it was like women were, or girls I guess, were diagnosed a lot less with ADD and ADHD, and it was kind of ignored.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it venturing into that topic with my therapist and like trying to think about that for myself is interesting, because there are little habits like that that you're like, oh, I've just done that my whole life. I didn't realize that was like a sign of something and it
Yeah.
was just ignored
And
forever.
yes, and what happens is, like my roommate and I looked into this a lot one day. And so what happens is you grow up and you have kids who have ADHD and you're like, I never had ADHD, like how are they getting this? And then you realize like you have had it your whole life. And the reason
Right.
why it's looked over in females is because um we already feel the need to overachieve in school. And so we push really hard to get the straight A's, get the
Mm-hmm.
honor roll, and get all that. Um, and so we do fine in school, but then when we get into our adult life, we can't focus, like we interrupt people, and you lose things easily, and just all these things that just have been overlooked your whole life because you did fine in school, like
Mm-hmm.
instead of and I feel like this is like a whole issue across our country, is instead of looking at grades to determine how okay a student is, like maybe you look at like their habits and like what they're doing, how they're working. Like both my brothers have ADHD, and so it would make sense for me to have it. I just had never struggled with school,
Right.
and it's hard to know what the signs and symptoms are. Symptoms, I don't know why I keep saying that. Um, what the signs are, because it wasn't really like the only sign that was talked about was bad grades.
Right.
So
Yeah. So,
yeah,
yeah, I
there's our
just,
tangent for
oh,
the
I
night.
know. I know. I think that that could be a whole episode in and of itself. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot, and I think that um I'm happy for both of us that we're like, you know, getting to explore that now as adults, because it's better than like going our whole lives and never thinking about it
Right.
or, knowing about it. So,
Yes, and definitely if you are listening to this and relate to what we're saying, talk to a therapist about it and don't self-diagnose,
yeah,
because it can get worse if you self-diagnose. This is why I want to get tested by a therapist and not just, assume I have it,
right.
because you could have signs of it and it's not even related to that. So,
Yeah, and especially if you have something else, like I know I already have anxiety and my anxiety can manifest in weird ways. And so it's a very thin line to like self-diagnose, I feel like, with something like that because it
yeah,
could be so many different things. So,
for sure.
um okay, I think it is your turn to ask a question
Oh,
now.
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
It
You,
is.
me, you, me. Yeah, it is.
Okay, what is your current job?
I am currently the executive assistant at a real estate investment company, a local company. There's only like 3 salaried employees. um,
Oh,
and I am one
wow,
of
that's
them.
really small.
Yeah, it's really tiny. And then we obviously have like we flip houses. So we obviously have like contractors and stuff that work for us, but they are like hourly employees. um but yeah, it's a very small company. Um, I really like who I work for. I like the company itself. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I really enjoy it. We're not like flipping houses to make huge profits. We're um, there to sort of like push back on gentrification a little bit.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Okay, I
so
love that.
our primary markets are like FHA buyers. Typically it's like what we're selling our houses back to. And so we're like usually only selling for like a small profit margin,
Mhm.
so that it's not like, flipping a $30,000 house to into like a $200,000 house or
Right.
$300 house or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so that is what I do. I do a lot of like phone calling and social media work and stuff like that. And I'm currently studying to become the realtor, but that's a long
Woo!
process. So,
Yeah, especially with your moving and everything.
yeah. What about you, Val?
I am a recruiter, at a very large company, huge, like it's a global company.
Hmm.
And we work primarily with those who are undergrad students, or working towards a degree. And so, um, yeah, it's really cool to see like working with college students, and then having them get a full-time job or an internship and then a full-time job. And so you see the entire process, and they kind of like lock in the job before they graduate instead of
Mm,
graduating and then searching for a job. So it's nice, especially in this like job market, to kind of help
yeah.
out kids who were in the same place that I was back then. Um, and yeah, it's fun, but obviously there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of work. Um, but it is fun, and we're starting to they're starting to like give us our own social media, and the person who is savvy with social media is me. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to start doing that.
That's
But
really exciting. I love that,
yeah,
Val.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, is it my no, it's your turn.
no, I think it is. Oh no, wait. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
my
you
turn.
asked.
Um, okay. How did you get into the career path you're on, and what is your favorite thing about it?
Okay, so I kind of already talked about my favorite thing, which would be, talking and interacting with college students, and then helping them solidify a job before graduation.
Hmm.
And then like watching them grow throughout the company is really cool. And then how I got into it is actually pretty funny because I was not really active. Well, I was actively searching, um, but it just kind of fell in my lap. I was working in social services, and it was not a, I loved the company, like bawled my eyes out giving my 2 weeks. But unfortunately, it was not enough money to um, live the way I want to live. And
Hmm.
I was told, like that's not going to be possible in this field. So I was like looking for like random jobs. And then I went to Preston's friend's graduation party, and he was talking about the company that I work for and how great it is and all these fun things they do. And he was like, well, so and so actually said that there's a position opening on their team for recruiting. And I was like,
Ooh,
what? And so I interviewed and got the job, and I've been working there since September 2019. Got
wow.
promoted to a recruiter a year ago from a specialist, and yeah, here I am
That's
working.
so great. Go
Yeah.
Val.
Yes.
Love to
So
hear it.
how did you get into your job?
So, kind of the same thing. It was just random. The job I had, I wasn't making enough money at. I didn't care about it anyway. I
Yeah.
was the front office secretary for a millwork company. So,
Mhm.
people that make doors and window frames and stuff like that.
How exhilarating.
Such fun work. Such fun work. And it was all men in the office except for me and one other girl, which
Ew, trash.
just
Just kidding.
makes for kind of a I mean, it makes for kind of a toxic workplace. I'm not going to lie, when there's like no female input in the office.
Yeah.
When there's
Yikes.
only one viewpoint running an entire operation, and then you put like different variations of people into
Yeah.
that operation, it just doesn't work very well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to get out of that. I did.
Glad you did.
I told them that if I couldn't because I actually found them through a recruiting agency. And I really, really, my dad actually worked for that recruiting agency when my family lived here in Kansas City before we moved to
Mhm.
Georgia. Um, and so I used them to find this job. And I actually really like the recruiting agency and would probably use them again if I ever had to. But yeah, when my contract, like my, part-time um contract like through the recruiting agency was ending, or not part-time, but I guess like temporary, because they like pay you through the recruiting agency until like a certain point, and then the company can decide to like make you a full-time employee, or you like
Mhm.
go find another job through the recruiting place basically. So that time was coming for me. And I told the company, like, if you want to make me full time, because I had just found out I was pregnant, I was like, I'm going to need to know my maternity care package, and I'm going to
Mhm.
need a little bit of a raise when I come on like full time with the company. And it wasn't a huge raise. It was like maybe 25 cents an hour or something like that. Like it wasn't something crazy. It was like
Yeah.
I was going from like almost minimum wage to like, maybe $2 more a day or something like that. Like not crazy.
Well, you gotta secure the bag somehow. You gotta
Right.
start somewhere.
And so I told, I told them that, and they were like, nope, we don't want to do that for you. And you're all, they were like, also, our company is less than 50 employees, so we don't have to offer you any maternity care under the FMLA law because we don't meet those
Wow.
criteria. So I pieced out because of that. And then I found my current job, just literally looking for random jobs on ZipRecruiter. And so shout out ZipRecruiter, or maybe it was Indeed. I don't know. One of those. Shout out online job searching, because that's how I found this
Yay.
one. And I went to a career focused high school. So we learned a lot about like how to sell yourself in your resume and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
And
very nice.
yes, it's very nice. And so I was always that friend in college who was like, pay me $20, I'll do your resume and your whole application. Don't worry about it. But that's
Like I
another
said, you
story.
gotta secure the bag somehow.
Yes. No, but I put in my resume, like, one of my core values is like honesty and integral work or something like that. And that is like what my boss hired me off of, because she was like, I can train you to do pretty much whatever I want, but I can't train somebody in core values. And like, that is what I
Oh.
want. So she hired me like pretty much the day we did our in-person interview. And my favorite thing about the job is actually my boss. I would do
Oh,
pretty
that's
much
good.
whatever she obviously it gets hard sometimes and you like don't want to
Right.
do it some days, but I would work for her like forever if she let me. And if she was like, we're running a
Oh,
sewage plant starting tomorrow, I would be like, great, I run a sewage
I'm
plant.
in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because she just is really great. Like when we had a lot of stress going on with finding out we had to move and all of the reasons behind that. And then we
Mhm.
also had some other personal stuff that I didn't talk about on the podcast, but um yeah, after all of that, she just like pretty much demanded that I take a few days off and was like, I don't even want to hear any questions about it. Like, just pick a couple days. You're taking them
Mhm.
completely off. And one of them was my birthday, and she didn't even like text me or anything. She like waited until I was back at work to tell me happy birthday, because she was like, I didn't even want you to think about us. I didn't want you to like even have us on your radar at all for 2 seconds. So, um, yeah, I would work for her forever. She's hands down my favorite part of my job for sure.
Oh, good. I love that. I'm glad that you're happy, and having a good boss is everything.
Yeah, for sure. You can do like pretty much anything if your boss is cool, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, so next question. It's my turn to ask, I think.
Yeah, it's your turn.
How did or wait, we just answered that one. What are your side jobs? I
Ooh,
think that's like directed to both of us. That's why it's like multiple things.
yeah. Um, Mine are obviously the podcast is one. We treat this as close to a job as we can for like two people that don't get paid doing it. Um, so and then I also um dabble in some non-toxic living stuff. I'm kind of in a place where I'm like reworking it in my head and like figuring out where I want to go with it. So I don't want to like talk too much about it because I'm
Right. That
still
makes sense.
figuring it out. But yeah, I that's what I do. I am very much into the what I believe is evident link between everyday household chemicals and things like cancer and infertility, and a lot of those issues that have been more modern issues that we can't seem to figure out and we can't seem to understand why they're skyrocketing right now. Um,
Mhm.
and I just really think that probably the products that we're using every day have something to do um, with those issues. And I'm really passionate about figuring those things out and sharing what I learn about that. So
Yeah. And you
that's
do a
my
really good job. You
thank you.
inspire me to have some cleaning stuff, cleaner cleaning stuff, and use essential oils and instead of candles all the time. So yes.
Yeah,
Um,
I try to be like not because there are a lot of people that like try to be scare tacticy about it, and I try to be like,
yeah.
hey, this is just like the information, but like I really
Here
don't
comes
care what you
Allison.
do.
Allison's so innocent about it. She's like, this is just what I do and it works for me. Here you go if you want
Yeah.
it.
If you want it.
Take it. Take it if you want it. Don't if you don't.
Yeah. What about you, Val?
Okay, so mine is also in a changing period, so I'm not gonna get into it much. But um right now, obviously the podcast. And then in my other spare time, I have been trying to figure out what content I want to bring for my social media, to kind of expand my community farther than just the podcast, because obviously we have our own like individual followers.
Mhm.
But to me, like it is a job to do that. And so I want to be able to like I'm inspired by Mixes on how she is very open about like her experiences and her vulnerabilities. And so I kind of just try to do the same thing with my experiences because obviously they're different and
Mhm.
hope that eventually I will have a large community to kind of cater to and bring daily content. But with everything going on in my mental head, it's been a little difficult. So right now, my side job honestly is trying to get my shit together
Yes,
and
amen.
like reorganize my finances, revamp my mental health, and just kind of enjoy life when I can. And yeah, that's what I consider my side job, honestly, and it doesn't pay, but it is a job, so
Yeah. I love that. That is, yeah, my side job right now is finding us housing. So
right, yeah. Like, we
if
we
you
can
want the real
podcast and we can
answers,
work,
that's
like,
what they
yeah.
are.
And then we produce great content when we can and when we want to.
Right. Yeah. And most of it honestly happens here on the
Yes,
podcast.
which is why we started it, because we didn't know what we wanted our, like, pages to be, so here we are giving the content that you might not, find elsewhere, so
Yeah. I love that. Okay. Favorite color? An easy one.
pink. It's always been
Um,
pink.
really? Always?
I had an imaginary friend named Pink.
Oh, I love that.
She moved off to California with blue. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so sad.
Inspired by Barbie.
I abandoned my imaginary friend, and it was heartbreaking for me
That's
because
so sad.
the like imagine it because I think everybody, if you have an imaginary friend, you have like the breakup story in your head, of like
Oh, yeah,
why
yeah.
they're not around anymore.
Right.
And mine was when we moved, I forgot to take her off of the or help her get off of the swing on the swing set because for some reason my imaginary friend couldn't get off of the swing set by herself. So she's forever just swinging in my old childhood
It's like
backyard.
that Drake song, just swinging.
Yeah. It's my imaginary friend.
We
Well, that
swinging.
was another little
Wait,
random tangent, but
yeah, what's your color?
my color's yellow. It used to
Oh, that's
be
so you.
yes, it used to be purple when I was like honestly, when I was little up until like college. And then when I moved away from college, I missed my mom a lot. And
Oh.
her favorite color is and always has been yellow. And then I just
Oh,
started to like really love the color yellow more. And I
that's
really think it's
so
because of my mom.
cute.
So,
Oh.
mom, if you're listening, that's why my favorite color is yellow.
Oh, that's very cute. Yeah, there's nothing. She's been loving pink since she got out of the freaking womb. She is like, she used to be like a tomboy when she was growing up. So she's like, I don't know how you came
How
out the way you
you
are.
yeah.
Like pink. Okay, if you're watching like the video, pink, pink.
Yeah.
My blanket is pink,
Yeah. With your
like
shirt.
coral. It's like coral, but like pink. Everything is pink. My Apple Watch. And like I was at Starbucks the other day and I had ordered this is like a random tangent. I'm so sorry. This episode's gonna be so long. And so I had a pink wallet, I had pink keys, I had pink nails, and I was wearing a pink shirt. I had a pink mask, pink cheetah print
Yes,
mask.
girl.
And he literally called me out and he was like, "Oh, I had pink chapstick too." He called me out and he goes, "Oh, I love how you're matching everything pink today." And I was like, "That's
Didn't even realize.
unintentional." Yeah, I go, "Oh my gosh, it is matching. Wow." Well, would you look at that?
You were like, lucky me.
Wow, must be the day. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's
So,
so funny.
anyways, I might have an obsession, but it's okay.
Uh
Okay, if you could give your teenage self advice, what would it be?
Say no. Way more.
I love that.
You're allowed to, and you should. And there will be specific instances when you're an adult that you look back on and you're like, I wish I would have just told blah, 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 no. And not even about big things, just about little things. Like, I wish I would have
Mhm.
told my friend who asked me if she could borrow my copy of the Hilary Duff A Cinderella Story movie when I brought it to school for show and tell. I wish I would have told her no, because I knew that bitch wasn't going to bring that back, and she never
Oh
did.
no.
And so, you know what I don't have? My copy of A Cinderella Story. Okay. So,
Talk
teenage
about
Allison.
trauma.
Yeah, you can tell people no. It will haunt you for not just the big things, but a bunch of the little things too.
Wow, that is very true. I mean, damn,
Yeah,
that's
that's my one.
traumatic. That's traumatic. Mine would probably be to stop caring what other people think.
Yep.
And that was always like when I was a teenager, that was always my resolution every year. And it still is a problem, but not as much as a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something I always struggled with is always trying to like please everybody because I wanted everyone to like me and ended up like, being isolated sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, don't give a shit what people think of you.
Yeah.
That's mine. Should we start like just asking each other the question and then only one answer for time
Yeah,
purposes?
we can do that. I was gonna say we only have a few more, so we could just like rapid fire, just like not do any
Okay.
whys and just do the answers.
Okay. Okay. And like don't go on a tangent, even though it's very hard for Allison and I not to go on a tangent. We're
Yeah.
both very, very prone to that.
Most of these should be pretty, like the rest of these should be pretty rapid fire now that I'm like looking at them honestly.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. Okay.
Okay. So top 3 favorite oh gosh, top 3 favorite movies. What are yours?
Mean Girls, The Notebook. Mine are so basic.
Mine are
Basic
too.
white bitch. Um, Mean Girls, The Notebook. Shit. Oh, Grease.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine are 13 going on 30.
Oh, top choice.
Step Brothers. And
Good one.
I know, I thought it just every time it makes me laugh. And my dad
It's
and I
so
like
funny.
it. It's so good. And Bridesmaids.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Those are my top 3.
There's like we have some taste, okay? It might be basic. It might be basic taste, but it's some taste.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Do you believe in soulmates?
Yes, every single kind. I believe in romantic soulmates, uh, like friendship soulmates.
Hmm.
I believe you can have so many soulmates. Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say because I don't believe in like one soulmate.
No, I don't believe in
I
that
think
either.
that is bullshit. Um, like I think there's a lot of different people for everyone, and that includes like family soulmates, friend soulmates, acquaintance soulmates.
Right.
Um, and then like obviously the lover soulmates. I think there's a lot of like different souls that you can mesh with and be perfect with. And there's a lot of other people that can make everyone happy.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people for everyone, and yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, think about Taylor Swift. Think about how many soulmates she has to be making this level of
I
music.
mean,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And now she has like songwriter soulmates that
Yeah.
are bringing the wonderful creation that is the folklore era. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're
different
definitely
types of soulmates.
podcast soulmates for
Podcast
sure.
soulmates, yes, like coworker soulmates.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different souls that work together, and you get through life that way.
Yes. Amen. Okay. If you could be or if you could eat one type of food for a week, what would it be? I think that this means if you could only eat, like if you were only eating one type of food, what would it be?
Oh, do we have consequences from our answer?
I think this is like for me, I'm going to answer this in like perfect world scenario. So I don't need to take
Okay,
nutrition into fact. I don't need
okay,
to take anything into
easy,
consideration. Yeah.
easy. Okay. Oh, should I answer?
Yes.
I should answer. Um, Mine is easily frozen yogurt.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, I crave it. It's like my go-to.
Mine is probably just pasta, just different types of
Oh,
pasta. If I could just eat pasta salad, different types of
oh
pastas with
yeah.
sauces, just all
See, you were
week.
smart. You were smart about your answer.
No, I frozen yogurt is honestly good. Like
Yeah.
I could do frozen yogurt almost equivalently to pasta.
And not to bring another tangent up, but the frozen yogurt industry is dying because of COVID and nobody is talking about it.
Oh, makes me so sad if we get out of this and there's no more frozen yogurt shops.
Preston and I have searched for frozen yogurt places this entire year, and nobody talks about the fact that there's like none left. We had to drive 20 minutes to get some last night.
That makes me
20.
so sad.
It was worth every minute of the drive, but yeah, no
We
one's
used to
talking
get
about it either.
frozen yogurt every week, Jason and I did,
Yeah.
like as our little
Maybe
date.
maybe this summer the industry will rise from the ashes.
Yeah, if everybody is able to get vaxxed up in May, maybe we can roll around in June and July and save the frozen yogurt industry.
Let's do it. Let's start a petition. Change.org.
I
Bring frozen
know,
yogurt back.
right?
Um, okay, favorite emotional support oil or aromatherapy scent.
Ooh. There is one that I really like from Young Living that's a blend that's called Sarah, Sara. And I can't remember exactly what's in it, but it's a really floral, like grounding scent. And it helped me process through a lot of my emotions after I miscarried and also when I lost my grandma. So that's like one of my favorite ones. But I also just really like lavender too.
Oh, lavender's a classic.
Yeah. What about you?
Um, Mine is definitely I'm forgetting the name, but you will know it. It's by Young Living and it starts with an R.
Oh,
It's
is
like
it
an R.
RC?
RC is
Yes.
my best friend. I will put that shit in the shower if I'm depressed,
Mm-hmm.
put a couple drops in, stand in the shower or sit in the shower and just bask in your emotions. Um, and I don't know why, but I always feel way better after. So that is like my
Aw,
go-to.
that makes me so happy that you have a favorite one.
I do, and I can't like it's not on the website.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find it, but we can talk about that later. But yeah,
Huh.
it's hard to find. Yeah. But yeah, that one's my favorite one. I'm almost out because I use so much of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't use essential oils a lot. Like I'm not like the
Yeah.
essential oil type person. I always forget. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the one that I'm like, I need to restock soon.
Yes. I think I have some rewards points that I can cash in and get you some if you need some ASAP.
I have some too. I'm fine.
All right.
Like I said, we can talk about this later, but
Yeah.
but not the
Anyways,
place, but like anyways.
um, yes. Okay. Favorite thing about yourself?
Oh, I wasn't ready for this question. My favorite thing about myself, that's actually, and this is very depressing, but it's very hard to answer right now, but I'm going to try my best. Just because like my mental space, this I don't know, it always happens in this month. Um, I really like my optimism when I can grab it. Like I feel like when I can be positive and have the energy to be, I can be like extremely positive, especially for other people. Um, and I really like that about myself. So
I really like
beat
that about
myself
you
up.
too.
Oh, thanks. um, what about you?
Hmm. I like my willingness to help other people.
Oh, yes, that's a good one about you.
I also like how recently I'm trying to translate that into helping myself a little bit, like
Oh, yeah.
trying to instill some boundaries like within myself. Like I think we talked about the phone boundary a couple of weeks ago where I'm trying to be off of it at
Mhm.
10:30 until 8:30. When I can remember to do that and set that boundary for myself, I really notice a difference. Um, I'm trying to like start to get up in the morning a little bit earlier because I was just getting up with Laurel and like feeding her and then going back to bed or just sleeping through it if Jason like got up with her that morning and like sleeping in, which honestly, I don't think I'm the type of person that sleeping in really serves. I think I need to just realize that like I feel better about my day and about myself if I have time to like get up and get ready and not be
Mhm.
like rushing through the morning, you know?
Yeah.
So I definitely like um that I am so like willing to help other people and like help them find solutions for things that work for them. Um but recently, I like that I'm trying to apply that to myself too. So
I love that. I love that. There's this thing that, I saw, I don't know if you posted it, probably, but it was saying, like, think about what your actually, no, it was TikTok. Think about what your love language is, like, how you perceive love,
mhm.
and then it was like, so what do you do for yourself? Like, how do you
Aw.
so if you're so like mine is quality time, like my love
Mhm.
language. And so am I giving myself quality time with myself? And that's like why and it sounds like so kind of messed up, but when I'm upset, I want to isolate myself and I want to like be alone. And like a lot of people see that as like, shutting people out, but like to me, it's like self-love to myself. Like I'm showing myself love by like isolating myself and being in my head.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, just remember what your love language is and give that to yourself because you gotta show yourself love all the time.
that's right. I love that so much, Val. That's so
Yes.
great. Um,
Okay, so favorite thing about each other.
ooh,
How cute.
my favorite thing about you is even if it is something like dark that we're talking about or something that we wish we didn't have to talk about, you and I
Mhm.
always have a good time talking about it with each other. And I
Yeah.
always find a lot of like, this is going to sound so stupid. Oh my gosh. But I always find a lot of like peace
No, it's
in
not.
like, I find a lot of peace in the like, the world after we talk because I think
Um,
especially in quarantine, like, you watch people on social media, like, talk about how Wayfair is, like, sex trafficking
oh
kids,
my god,
and
I
you're
forgot about that.
like, that's what I'm
Oh
saying,
my
like,
god.
so many things happen, and you're like, "What is going on with the world? Is everybody else outside of my house crazy? Like, what is happening right now?"
Yeah.
And talking to you, especially, like, really forming a deeper friendship through the pandemic and through everything that was
Mhm.
happening was really valuable for me because it showed me that like not only were people who were already in my life like not crazy and not losing their minds, but I could
Mhm.
still make new meaningful friendships and like those people could also not be crazy and I don't have to be like afraid of the rest of the world and sharing my opinion with them because you were like a completely new person that could have just totally not liked me and you did, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you just give me a lot of like, after I talk with you, I have a lot of like hope that there are other like just really good human beings in the world, you know?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
So I don't know what that is about you, but just like something about your soul just makes me go like, okay, like humans can be good at their core. Like it still exists, you know?
It's because we're podcast soulmates.
Yes, it is.
Okay, my favorite thing about you is how much you and like I feel bad saying this because I know sometimes you can do this too much and then it ends up like being not self-love, like the opposite, not like hate, but like you know,
Too much of anything is a bad
it's
thing.
just yeah. So I love how caring you are of like other people's feelings and like how they're doing. Like you are really good at like checking up on people and remembering to reach out to people and it means a lot. Like this morning you sent me affirmations like because I couldn't record last night because I was depressed as shit and like it like today my day was really good and so just know that like when you reach out to people it's like very
You're gonna make me cry. Gosh, I think it was
oh
Tati that asked this question. Tati,
no,
why did you do this to us?
ew, emotions. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I have a lot of weird insecurities about if I'm being a good friend or not. So that's just like the
No, you're a
ultimate
great
compliment
friend.
you paid me, you know?
Oh, well, it's my favorite thing about you, so you're doing a good job.
Okay, we have to move on from this or it's gonna get too
Okay.
sappy. Is it my turn to read one?
Yes.
Okay, a book everyone should read at least once.
Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. It's like almost bedtime.
I know.
Okay, a book everyone should read at least once. So I don't read, but
Short answer.
but I do listen to audibles, and one that gets me every time is "You Are a Badass." It is so good at making you, like, revamp your life and your confidence, so just listen to it or read it. I don't
I
know.
love that.
Yeah.
I've heard about that book, but I haven't ever read it before, so I need to take it seriously.
I was thinking it was, like, a basic answer because I was like, "Everyone's read this." No, you should
No.
go listen to it. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Mine is gonna be one that not everybody's gonna agree with, and that's okay.
What
Mine's
is it,
gonna
Twilight?
be no. Oh God, don't even say that around TikTok. Don't even say that. No, um oh, Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. And not because I think everybody should give birth, but because I think we all were birthed and we all should know how that happened. Like
That's actually a really good point.
I don't think schools do a good job of anatomically explaining if you're a person who decides that you're going to birth children, what will happen to your body. And I also
Mhm.
don't think that it does a good job of explaining if you're a person who chooses not to birth children, how to support the people in your life that do. And I think that that book
That's a
is
really
just
good point.
great. And it's a really good book because it gives birthing experiences that like are across the board. It's one of the like world's leading midwives that wrote it. And she talks about like people who have given birth like, you know, completely natural births by themselves, like unassisted, but then also people who have given birth like, you know, under normal like hospital conditions
Mhm.
and kind of everything in between. And so there's like a birth stories section that's that stuff. And then there's the section where like she as a midwife explains birth and explains like these are the wonderful things that your body is like set up to do for birth. And like here's how you can like help yourself
Wow.
like achieve these things and help your body like basically like help you help yourself pretty much. And so it's really wonderful like if you're going to be a partner of somebody who's giving birth, or if you're going to be giving
Mhm.
birth yourself, or if you have friends or family that are close to you and you just want to understand their experience, it's a really great way to like be informed when speaking to other people or like when going through it yourself, I guess.
Nice. Okay, good to know, good to know. I'll keep that. I'll reach out to you when I'm there.
That's mine. Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm going to explain this one a little bit because I think at first it comes off like, I want everybody to read that because everybody should have this. And
No,
that's not, I just think it's like we all were
should
birthed. So we
understand
should know
how.
how that happened, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay, so favorite movie that reminds you of your childhood?
ooh, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, mine is mine is comical. Good Burger.
Gosh, that is so funny.
When I tell you, I was like 3 years old, and when my dad would pick me up from my mom's house to go to his house for the weekend, this one time I forgot to pack Good Burger.
Mm.
When I tell you the demon came out of my soul, um, I remember this day, which is like so weird because I don't remember anything else from this time period. But
Oh
I
my
remember
gosh.
screaming, and I'm like, I want Good Burger.
Oh.
His ass had to turn around. We were almost there. He turned around and drove my ass back home so I could
Aw.
get Good Burger. Because back then it was VHS. Okay, we
Right.
couldn't just like stream whatever.
Nope.
It was VHS tapes, and yep.
Oh,
So
I love that.
it's so stupid now, but it's so
No, that's so
funny.
cute.
Okay,
Okay,
your turn.
favorite alcoholic beverage?
Josh Pinot Grigio.
Ooh.
That is the all-time Josh anything, really. So, if you have never tried Josh anything, red wine, white wine, because I drink both, but, like, there's nothing better than a nice cold glass of Josh Pinot Grigio.
I
Daisy
like
agrees.
it.
I don't know if you heard that, but she just meowed.
Daisy's like,
Alright, what
"Yep."
is yours?
Mimosas, and I'm not
Oh,
yeah, I'm not stingy about the type of champagne. I will take Andres, anything you got. I'm like,
yes, that's a good answer. I like that one.
um,
Um, favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
mm, I'm trashy. I like soda,
Dr.
honestly.
Pepper.
Yeah, I like
Dr.
Pepsi.
Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're a Pepsi girl.
Well, Coke or Pepsi. I just like
Oh, okay.
classic soda, you know.
Classic soda. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a Dr. Pepper fanatic. Um,
So is Jason.
it's so good.
I mean, he one time he was really, really drunk and he was drinking like his third Dr. Pepper of the night. And he just looked at me and goes, "A doctor a day keeps the doctor away." And I was like, what? That was like really
We
early on when
love
we were
that.
dating.
We love to see it.
um,
Um,
what is
your turn.
your favorite warm beverage?
Mm, coffee.
Made at home, or would you prefer to go get it somewhere else?
If it was a perfect world, I would get it um, from somewhere every day. But I
Mhm.
like changing it up, so I don't really have a preference on where it's from. Typically, I just go to Starbucks because of the points and like
Right.
they support Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I would love to get Starbucks every day, but unfortunately, I'm not made of money.
Right. Can't
So,
just wear your leather suit and stroll into Starbucks
oh
every day.
no, I can't.
Oh my gosh.
What
Mine
is yours?
is probably chai lattes. I am a
Okay.
slut for a good chai latte for
A
sure.
dirty chai,
Mhm.
slap
And
me
I'm the same
already.
way. If I were made of money, I would get it somewhere every day, every single day of my life. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow. Um,
All right.
okay.
Well, now I
Now
guess we
we're to
can
the personal.
just do we can do like I'll ask you your first question and then you can do my
Okay.
first question.
Okay.
How old is Daisy and how did you get her?
Daisykins. Okay. She is turning Oh man, 5 this summer.
Mm.
Sad face. Um, I got her because okay, this I actually love this story, so I'm very glad somebody asked this.
Yay.
Um, okay, well, it starts off really sad, but it's a happy ending. Okay, so I used to have a cat named Catsby
Mm-hmm.
after The Great Gatsby, and um, I like that movie too. And so anyways, he only lived to be like 2 years old, and unfortunately had an aneurysm right in front of me. It was very traumatic. I thought
Wow.
he was having an exorcism. Like,
Oh,
it was
oh.
so fucked up. It was at 1:30 in the morning, finals week,
I
okay?
can't imagine, Val. Oh my
It was
gosh.
terrible. It was like I literally he was, on the table, like, he was always, like, on the table with me, and I was studying, and I was putting a cup in the dishwasher, and I look up, and he's just, like, breathing heavily with, like, huge pupils, and anyways, I
Mm,
thought he was choking, and
poor
then
baby.
turns out he wasn't,
Yeah.
and it was, like, loud and scary and, like, very dramatic. Anyways,
Oh,
so
Val. I'm so sorry. I
no,
didn't
it's
know that.
okay. My teacher was very nice and gave me, a, like, curve on my grade because he was,
Mm-hmm.
like, very sensitive to, like,
Oh, I'm
TED
so
stuff, so
glad. That's
yeah,
good.
so he was very nice about it, and so basically, like 5 or so days later, the same Lauren, she's like my childhood best friend, she got me Catsby originally, and so at her house in Athens, she started hearing meowing on her porch. 5 days, like, it was like a universe. I get chills talking about it every time.
Oh.
5 days after, it was, like, my birthday week, it was terrible. Okay, so she heard crying on her porch, and she found Daisy, and she had a collar on, so she put signs up everywhere, and nobody wanted her. She put on Facebook groups, signs in her neighborhood, everything, and so she ended up, like, taking her to the vet, make sure she didn't have a chip, and she didn't. And so guess
Mm.
who had cat stuff already from her
Right.
cat? Me. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll just foster her until somebody, claims her."
Mm-hmm.
Well, like 2 weeks go by and I'm like, "All right, well, she's my cat."
Right.
So, I named her Daisy from The Great Gatsby
Oh.
because Gatsby died and Catsby died and his like soulmate was Daisy
Yeah.
and it was just perfect.
I
And
love
so that's
that.
how I
That's
got
such a
Daisy.
great story.
Isn't it so good? And I always, like, hate that I have a generic cat name, um, but I have to tell a story with it because I'm like, "No, no, no, it's a good story, I promise."
Yes. My parents' dog's name is Daisy too, and so I have a soft spot for the name Daisy.
Oh. Okay, so your question, um, I lost my place. How did you get so many pets? Your origin stories.
Okay. So we have 7 pets. We we had a hamster. She is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Meredith. She
Oh.
was my first like out on my own pet. And she lived
Oh.
a very happy, full, long for a hamster life. And she got very old and passed away peacefully in her cage. Um,
Oh. Well, at least she didn't, like, explode or something like the other hamsters do.
no, yeah, nothing
Yeah.
traumatic, just
Good.
passed away. Yeah.
Meredith went away peacefully.
Yeah. So, had her for a long time. And while I had her, I also, about 2 years before she passed away, um, this is such a random story, but my cat, Georgie, she was just a stray at our apartment complex.
Mhm.
And Jason and I were going to a Braves game and we passed by her. And I had been like giving her like food scraps and stuff like that for a couple days because I felt like bad for her. And she had a really distended stomach. So we thought she might be pregnant too. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, if
Oh
she's
god.
pregnant, I don't want her to like starve. And it's like
Yeah.
middle of April in Georgia. So it was like sweltering hot outside. So I was bringing her water and like, whatever. Um, and so Jason made a joke like, oh, I like, that's your cat now or whatever. And while we were at the Braves game, I got an email from the apartment complex saying, like, if somebody doesn't claim this cat, we're taking her to the shelter. And the shelter in Cobb County is, or at least at the time, like the one that we lived by that they would have taken her to, was a kill shelter. And she was like at least, 3 years old, and she was like maybe pregnant. So I was like, she probably wouldn't get adopted out and they would probably euthanize her.
Yeah.
Um, and so I didn't want that to happen. And I took her in. We went to Dollar Tree and got a bunch of random cat stuff from Dollar Tree. And I had a cat. And then
There you go.
after that, I kind of fell in love with her and we just kind of like started taking in animals. So Jason and I used to live separately. And so I had Georgie and Meredith, and then he got our German Shepherd Rom, was like originally just his dog. And he got him through like a family friend had a bunch of puppies and he just took one of the puppies. And then after Rom came Addison, who was my second cat. One of my friends got her as like a present to her brother, and her brother ended up being allergic, so they had to get rid of her, and so I took her in. And then after Addison, Jason and I moved in together, and we were like, we have 2 cats, let's get another dog, like why not? And so we got Tucker, just went to a shelter and picked him out. He is a chocolate lab and pit bull mix, very sweet. And then Bunny and Frankie are 2 cat twins. They are Maine Coon mixes. And they were born on Jason's family's property. And the mom and the rest of the siblings left Bunny and Frankie because Frankie was the runt, and I don't think the mom thought she was going to survive. And Bunny literally like was protecting her. Like that's why he stayed behind, was to
Oh,
protect his little sister. So very sweet. The reasons their names are Bunny and Frankie is because the vet originally thought Bunny was a boy, and so, or was a girl. And so we were like, oh, Bunny and Frankie, like that's cute. And then we found out a few weeks later that he was a boy, and we just didn't change his
that
name.
happens a lot with cats.
Yeah. So we just didn't
It's
change his
really hard to
name.
tell.
We were like, he's just Bunny. And then the last animal that we have is Rafi. He's a turtle. After Meredith passed away, we had an empty like glass aquarium, which is what we
Mhm.
used for like her hamster enclosure. And so my friend had a turtle that she could not care for anymore. And we were like, we have an empty cage. Bring your turtle
Might as
over.
well.
So that's all of our animals. And I tried to keep their origin stories as short as I could.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job.
Thank you. Okay, your next question. How did you meet Preston?
Okay. So, um, basically, every time I tell this story, I'm like, I sound very ridiculous. So, I had a friend who worked at Taco Mac,
Mm.
and I went to Taco Mac with my friends. It was actually a very terrible day for me mentally. It was like like 10 days after my sexual assault,
Oh,
one of them.
wow.
And so I was like, honestly, I dragged myself out of bed and I was like, just go out with your friends, have a beer, eat some
Mhm.
wings, and it'll be done. So
Mhm.
um, I, at the same time, her boyfriend was visiting her as well, and they sat at a table very nearby. And I saw Preston, and he was wearing a purple shirt, and
Aw.
I was like, "Oh, he's cute." And so I texted her after I got in my car, and like I don't know if he noticed this, but like I kept looking at him, like being like, "Is he looking at me?" Like, and so I texted her, and she was like, "Oh, that's Preston." Um, and I found out that he was, like, younger than me, and I was like, "Oh, never mind." because it's like 4 years. It's like 4 years. And I was like, oh, never mind. And she was like, well, you don't date him. And like, all right, fine, I'll meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Him murder in the dark, and we were able to flirt during that. Basically, like, I don't know who knows this. He's going to text me this episode and be like, "Why didn't you tell me any of this?" 'Cause- so
There you are.
I'm here. I had to pause my podcast recording. Am I still here? Hello?
Yes, you're still here now.
Okay. I'm gonna press record back on the podcast episode.
Oh no, okay. Let me check and make sure mine's okay.
I had to stop recording because it like kicked me out and I thought it like ended or something.
Okay.
It
Okay.
says it's still recording on like Zoom though, so we're good.
Yeah, mine is still going on Audacity too, so we're good. Okay, so pick
Okay.
back up with Preston. You were saying
Yes.
he's not gonna know some
He's
of
not
this
gonna know
stuff.
this. So we're playing Murder in the Dark, which is basically hide and seek in the dark, and one person's the murderer. And once they kill you, you have to lay there on the floor, and then so everyone else has to figure out who the murderer is. Okay, that's like long story short. So I knew he was like in an area, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna go hide with Preston, and we can like flirt, not like do anything, just like get to know each other, have flirt a little bit.
Right.
And so we were hiding in this bathroom, and we were talking, blah, blah, and he kills me. He was the murderer the whole time. The whole fucking time he was the murderer. And he was like playing it off like he wasn't. And he was like, yeah, we're hiding, blah, blah, blah. And so it was like a frat bathroom. So I had to sit on the floor of a frat boy bathroom
Oh my god.
while everyone else figured out who the murderer was. And the murderer was him.
You
And
were with the
anyways,
murderer the whole time.
I was with him the whole time. And so anyways, we like kicked it off really well. And then we eventually got snowed in together like the first week we met each other. And
Cute.
yeah, and then we started dating and here I am.
Love that. That's so cute.
It is very cute. I do like our story, but he didn't know a lot of that. So I'm gonna get some text messages after this episode.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
So yes, your question is, and this is the last question of the episode. So if you're still here, hold on tight.
Yes,
Almost
you
done.
made it. This is the end.
When did you get married?
May 19th, 2019. It was a very small wedding. We each had like 7 or 8 friends there and then just like immediate family. Like we invited grandparents and then parents and siblings and that was it. So it was very
Yeah,
intimate. It was a state park wedding. Um
very
and
cute
yeah.
though. I remember like creeping on your pictures. I was like, it's so pretty.
Aw,
So
thank
yeah.
you. Yeah, it was everything that we wanted. If we did it all over again, we would do it the exact same way for sure.
Good. I love when that happens.
Yes. Well, thank you everybody for making it this far. If you did.
This is a very long episode. Obviously, the podcast is a little shorter, but
Yeah.
yes. Thank you so much for listening. This was very fun. I think we should do this for like all of our milestones. And
For sure. Like every
yeah,
10 or something, like when we
yeah,
get to 20,
just do
30.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we wanted to, we kind of talked about it, I think, but we're basically going to have a way for people to submit episode ideas. And so we will have like something, we haven't figured out the logistics yet, but we will have something in our bio on our Instagram. And so you'll be able to put in the episode idea, what topic you want us to talk about, say who you are if you want to, and then if you are an honorary 20 something that we have chosen, then we will do like something special for you if we choose your topic idea. So please go do that once we like announce on our Instagram, and you can go, I know Allison usually does this, but you can go to our Instagram. It is at this is 20 something pod, right?
I think at this is
This is
20
20
pod.
something pod. Oh, this is 20 pod. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And so that is at THISISTWENTYPOD. And then
Yes.
my Instagram, if you want to ask me more random questions, or suggest another therapist if mine doesn't work out, that is at val.burns. That is VAL.BYRNES.
Yes. And yeah, if you want to, I don't even know what you could talk to me about, multiple things throughout this episode. Um but you can go to at Allison R. Carpenter at ALLISON RCARPENTER. Ask me some non-toxic questions. I talked a lot about that on this episode. I feel like I never talk about that on the podcast, but it's something I'm very passionate about. So ask me some questions again.
Go ask Allison some questions. Show us some love on our Instagram. Give us some topic ideas. And
Yes.
we will talk to you guys next week.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yay.
Yay. That was so much fun.
Yeah, that was such a good one. I'm like really like I don't want to do video the whole for every single one, obviously, but I think it's going to be like a fun thing to have, like you were saying, the milestones be.
Yeah, definitely. And if you are still watching this recording, Daisy is here reading off the questions.
Oh my gosh. Little Daisy, so cute.
Oh man, she's like the most loyal cat ever. She just has to be by my side all the time.
She's the sweetest. I love her so much. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, I guess we will sign off of the video too, but thank you everybody for watching. And
Thank you, everybody.
yes, we're gonna go make sure that this actually recorded now.
It says recording, so we'll see.
Fingers crossed. Okay, bye.
Bye.